Voters in Elmore County made their voices loud and clear. The enhanced Elmore plan is off the table. 94% of voters said no to the new property assessments that county leaders hoped would help fund fire departments and build a new jail.
Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now. Let's talk a little bit about raising taxes, when it's appropriate, when it's not. Now, as someone who has been a conservative in talk radio for quite some time, one of the things I hear often when people talk about things conservatives do in government is an argument about how conservatives don't actually believe in government, don't want any government. They surely do not want any more government. The government's at the perfect size it's at right now, and nobody should want any more. Or that conservatives believe that there should be no government. And I'm not one of those people. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. I am a small government conservative. I'm not a no government conservative. So you could make the argument occasionally that higher taxes or extending taxes or anything like that could be done and still be consistent with small government, better government conservatives. Now, I don't know why conservatives don't brand themselves this way, but forget about that for a second. The one thing you do need to know is if you do make a legitimate argument, people will listen to it. It is possible for you to get people to believe in your cause and to get people to believe that you might be right about something and that they might be willing to spend money on it. There's a real possibility. In Elmore County, they had something called Enhance Elmore recently, and the voters said, yeah, you haven't made that argument for us.
It's the talk of Elmore County right now. The Enhance Elmore plan is out. That proposal promised to raise money for local fire departments and a new jail.
And voters overwhelmingly rejected that plan, so now the county has to figure out what's next. WSFA 12 News reporter Nye Remy has that story.
Wait until you see how much voters rejected this premise by. And this tax increase had a very few specific things they wanted to spend money on. And you'll see why they voted against it.
Voters in Elmore County made their voices loud and clear. The enhanced Elmore plan is off the table. 94% of voters said no to the new property assessments that county leaders hoped would help fund fire departments and build a new jail.
All right, so you have 94% of voters saying no to this. 94% of voters saying no to these taxes. And the way they're doing these taxes, I didn't like it. They'll get into what exactly it was and what it was for, but you're going to see why it went down 94 to 6. And it's kind of embarrassing because there's clearly a mismanagement system going on here, a mismanagement of the system going on here. Just wait.
94 to 6. That's almost unheard of. Our voices were heard, and we spoke loudly, and we all came together as one.
The enhanced Elmore plan would have added a flat property fee each year, $150 for homeowners and $300 for businesses.
Why did they decide to do it that way? Why not just increase the millage? Why not do that? Instead, they just did a flat rate. So if you are a person who has a $70,000 house, you're going to pay the same as someone who has $1 million house? I mean, you're going to have a hard time getting that through anywhere. Forget about like the whole progressive tax system where the people at the top have to pay a higher percentage on top of paying obviously more. But this is ridiculous. This is, and what a terrible plan being put forth. What an absolutely awful plan.
County Commissioner Bart Marser says while voters have shut down the plan, the county's needs haven't gone away.
We'll have to do what we can because the thing about it is we've got to have a jail because we've got to do our part to keep the citizens of Elmore County safe.
So Mercer says budgets will take the hit.
We asked the citizens, do you want to move forward with this plan? And they said no. And so what we're going to need to do now is to get back with the sheriff and talk about how we can revise that jail construction plan.
Wait a second. What have you guys been doing with the money up until now? Why didn't you budget this maintenance in the past? Why wait until now and then say, hey, you either give us more money to do this or we're going to cut other stuff? That's mismanagement. Why would you give more money to somebody who's mismanaging something?
It'll probably be more of a short-term plan to maybe more accommodate his immediate needs. and then we will use the funds that we currently have to build that jail.
Meanwhile, the opposition says the message is clear.
We showed this county government who actually runs this county. And that's the way it's going to be from now on.
County leaders say they'll start budget talks in the next few weeks to decide what gets funded and what needs to be cut.
Yeah, that's how it should work. That's exactly how things should go down. That's exactly what should happen. And they've spoke out and said, no, we're not going to allow this. We're not going to be a part of this. We're not going to let this happen to our community. And I stand by these people. I think they made the right decision. The people there made a call that we're not going to give more money to a system that clearly was not working in the best interest of the citizens of Elmore. I mean, that's simple. It's an absolutely simple thing to see. And I'll give you an example of the opposite. Someone asking for more money to do something when the citizens trust them. It's the city of Madison. Now, this goes back a couple years. I understand that. I get that. But I want to share this because I think it's important to look at it to see the difference in how people feel about their different communities and how they got to where they are.
WHNT News 19's Joel Porter has been following this story all day long, has the results. Joel, how many people supported this?
Well, basically, looking at the final tally, Greg, this was sort of like a 2-to-1 margin. The measure passed by nearly 3,000 votes. Around 6,500 people in Madison, Triana, and a portion of Limestone County said yes. Just under 2,800 people said no.
So keep in mind, that's 2-to-1 margin. Okay, it's the opposite of 94% of the people saying absolutely not. And the reason that is because they had faith in the people running the schools there. So they said, okay, sure, raise taxes.
In his pitch to neighbors, Superintendent Robbie Parker told homeowners this is an investment in the city school district for the next 20 years. With one bubble to fill out, it didn't take most voters in Madison and Triana long to decide on Tuesday.
So I think that we need to continue to keep the school system at that high level.
For most teachers and families, the 12 mil ad valorem tax increase was a no-brainer, even if higher taxes proves a bitter pill to swallow.
I bit my lip and I said, yes, I will support the students.
See, this is someone who does not like taxes. We had to bite his lip in order to support the tax increase. And he's going to tell you why he did it.
We'll support the town.
But the results should speak for themselves.
Resources when it comes to facilities would help so much. I mean, they're using every single room in every building.
School leaders and supporters from Madison Forward say they were confident, but more than 6,000 yes votes made it official. The tax proposal passed, giving an estimated $8.4 million annually to help address a rising enrollment, now at over 11,700 kids.
Acquire the property and begin the design for the new schools. I think it should be started immediately.
We are ready to move. We will be in New York at the end of this month, preparing to borrow money.
The money, Parker says, will be used to build 3 new schools.
We plan to open the new elementary school in August of 2021.
So again, keep in mind, this is a situation that was years ago. Now, soon Madison will be asking for more money, not more money to extend things like this in order to build more. And the people will say yes to it because the government there is good and the government there is great at running schools. So they will have no problem putting more money into it. They're completely fine with that. And that's how you get this stuff done. If you come to them hat in hand and say, oh my God, we're totally screwed, we have to do all this stuff. Well, what happened here? How did you allow this to come to be? It didn't have to be this way. If you say, hey, we're going to grow, we're going to expand, we're going to do good stuff, then people will say yes. But if you say, hey, look at what a crappy job we've done, nobody's going to give you any more money. And nobody should.